All right, are you ready for Littlefield exit strategy? If we were in class, we'd talk about this a little bit, and we'd try to bring different concepts together, such as a level loaded plan with a desired goal to be at zero inventory at the end. And really, that's what we want. So if you go out to Littlefield, assume you're in day 217, by the way, because 217 is when you want to do this. Because once it hits 218, it actually runs the last 50 days and you're done. So day 217 is your last day to make any changes. At that time, if you come in, you look at your material buffers, you plot your inventory, you'll see that you have been running at a pretty consistent schedule. Keep in mind, mine's the do nothing strategy, so I haven't changed anything. So this is actually hopefully what yours does not look like. But you can see, if this were day 217, I would still be currently at a certain inventory level. And if I came back, this tells me what orders I have out there that are about to come in. So it says I have a material order of 7,200 kits due to arrive in 3.8 simulated days. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my customer orders. I'm going to plot those job arrivals. I'm going to take this data and copy it. At this point, you should have 217 days worth of data. I only have 122, but so be it. I would copy that data and throw it into an Excel spreadsheet. Oh, look, I already did. Well, let's do it again from scratch. I'm going to come over here and just say, I want to know what my average daily usage or daily demand is. So I can do that by simply doing an average for you of all 217 days. For me, 122 days. That's my average daily demand. So if you think about it, my final 50 days should just be that average times 50. Now, if you don't trust that number, if you're worried because we have peaks and we have other things, you could do something else. For example, instead of just average daily demand, I could say max daily demand. And I could come down here and say equal max, and I could highlight all 217 days of data. And it would say out of all those, the most I ever had was 20. So I could also take that 20 times that by my final 50 days, and that would tell me 1,000. So I would say worst case scenario on your strategy, you'd want to be somewhere in that range. And your numbers, of course, might be a little different than mine. But somehow for those last 50 days, I want to plan on meeting another 593 jobs or 1,000 jobs or some sort of number in between. Personally, I'm going to take the conservative approach, and I'm just going to take the middle ground of both of those numbers. I'm going to plan on 796 more jobs showing up that last day. So now the question is, how much materials do I need to meet 796 jobs? 796 jobs takes 60 kits, if I remember right. So actually, I'm looking at needing a total for the last 50 days of 47,779. But I want to subtract from that my current inventory as well as my on order inventory. Where do I get those numbers? Once again, we come back here to the material buffers. And it tells me my on order inventory, at least for me, is 7,200 units arriving in 3.7 days. So I can put 7,200 here as on order. My current inventory, it's not flat out telling me what my current inventory is, but if I hit plot inventory, it's this number right there. Or I can even hit data and drag to the very bottom. I'm sitting on 2,040. So I can come back and put 2,040 right here. This means then is my final order quantity should be the amount I need for those last 50 days minus what I already have on hand minus what I already have on order. So I should do one final order for the 38539. And I believe we do that in units of 60 as well. So I'm just going to hit this divided by 60, 642. I would now come back in here. I would go into materials buffer. I would hit edit data. I would change this order quantity to 640, and I would hit OK. I'm not going to do that because I'm the do nothing guy and I don't want to change my numbers. But once I hit OK, I would see on this screen another, actually nothing would pop up yet. So I'd hit OK, I'd come back to the screen, I would hit edit data again, and this time you would see 640 there, but I would come up and I would change my reorder point to some high number, like 1,000, something, so that it kicks the order off immediately right now. And I would hit OK. After I did that, you would come here and you would see material order of whatever your final quantity is showing up in so many simulated days, 4 days actually. And you would know that that has been done. Then I would go back in here again to edit data, and I would change my order quantity to 0, and I would hit OK. Then I would go back into it one more time, and this actually doesn't matter because there's nothing really to order, but just to be safe, I would change my reorder point to 0 as well. So by the end of it, both of those would show as 0. That would be my exit strategy. I wouldn't worry about capacity. I wouldn't worry about selling machines because my demand is going to continue on. I would just worry about trying to end with as low amount of actual inventory as possible without going completely out and missing any orders. That's about all the hint and clues and thoughts I can give you, my friends. Best of luck. Make sure you meet as a team and do those changes on day 217, which is really Tuesday, anytime after 10:10 in the a.m. But make sure you get those changes in before 11:10 a.m. because that's when this whole simulation is just going to magically be done.